Hello, everyone. Happy Empowered Wednesday. And if you're new here, I'm Isabella Kvesic. I'm a co founder and CEO at Blue Water Performance Limited. And as you know, every Wednesday I have a guest, special guest, and we talk about all things entrepreneurial life, strategies for personal growth as well as professional growth. And today we have a very special guest, and her name is Margot Daley, and she's a personal brand photographer, videographer, and I'm going to let her in so you can meet her as well. So let's I see you're coming in. Sometimes it just takes a while. So, okay. Are you here? Okay,
Well, good
yay!
morning, Isabella. How are
Good
you?
morning, Margot. I'm great. How are you?
I'm so good. Thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward to chatting
You're
with you.
welcome.
And
Okay.
congratulations, by the way. This last several months, you've been winning everything and well deserved. So,
Thank
congratulations.
you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, it's been busy, but you know what? It just shows when you're committed to your purpose and you surround yourself with awesome people, awesome things happen.
Absolutely.
It's simple. So thank you so much for being here. And everyone, whoever doesn't know Margot, you must really follow her. So
Oh.
not only is she a vibrant soul, and I know we connected on the energetic level that one day at a networking meeting, but you're so talented. So she is based in, if you don't know Margot, she's based in Toronto. She's a personal branding photographer and videographer, and she spent 30 years as a TV producer and a director and produced them. Maybe she'll tell us, which ones exactly, but I know there were a few
Right.
award-winning documentaries with some big budgets. So I cannot wait to hear about this and take it away. Tell us a little bit.
Oh, well, thanks so much, Isabella. And the first thing I love to share that I really found my passion later, my 50s. I was doing TV. I love TV. The first 3 years, fantastic.
Mhm.
But, even as a freelancer, you're not fully free. So in that regard, that, you're kind of subject to being hired and hiring out. And when I discovered what I'm doing right now with personal band photography, it just really blossomed. And I always share that because I see a lot of entrepreneurs, men, mostly women, who are a little bit later, 40s, 50s, rediscovering that second thing and going for it. So the things that I do are photography, brand photography for those who are starting or launching, relaunching a website. They
Mhm.
need video to tell their story. And
Mhm.
Isabella, I would say the third thing that I'm really now focused on doing quite a bit is encouraging my fellow entrepreneurs to use this phone and do what we're doing. Talk and share. It
Don't
is
hide,
so
right? Stop
intimidating.
hiding. Yes.
But it's how you are going to be known and form a deeper connection. I've had so many people say to me, I feel like I really know you before the shoot because I do share a lot of videos like you do,
Yeah.
talking to camera.
Yeah.
It's not always easy at first, but I see
Yeah.
how it helps build that connection and showing up. It's just that next level to stand out.
Exactly. And I think as someone is building personal brand, it's really so important to be out there.
Yeah.
Be scared, do it with fear, but do it authentically because the right people will find
Absolutely.
you. And I find as we're building those personal brands, it is really about establishing that connection, right? With those that you can help. And if we're hiding before
Yeah.
behind the camera,
Yeah.
people don't really get to know
Right.
you. And yeah, like that energy, energy level. And this is why people say yes, right?
Right.
When we meet the right people, it's really the personality, the tonality, the values, maybe the hobbies that we can relate to. And
Right.
it's our energy that attracts other people to our world. So thank you for saying that, and thank you for doing what you're doing, because I think
Oh,
you have a natural gift to,
thank you.
really help people kind of come
Loosen
out of their shell.
up, just see that there's a bigger purpose with what's going on. And so I just to pick up on what you were saying, I think so many people think, oh, what is my aunt gonna think? Or so and so's gonna think that I think I'm an influencer and I'm big. And if you can reframe it in a way that people, I want to help you and sharing knowledge, I'm gonna share tips to help and not make it about you. That, you know, it's about thinking about it a little bit differently. I'm hoping to help folks. Yes, of course, I want to eventually sell some things or promote some things, but it's part of a bigger package of letting you into my world. I'll give you a small example too. It's not always even business, Isabella.
Mhm.
I've been sharing on social media. I'm trying to quit sugar this year.
Yes,
The engagement I share, like sugar in my coffee and tea, not all of it, but coffee and tea is a huge thing.
yes.
I've gotten so much support and tips and engagement. And it's just another part of me that doesn't have anything to do with business, but by talking to folks and engaging, I really sense that connection.
Yeah, no, thank you for that.
Mhm.
Because I think, I think the days of people hiding behind brands or that commodity, they are really over. People want those authentic connections. They want to make sure that they are connecting, whether it's through service or product, with the founder, right? What is their
Absolutely.
story? Are they relatable to us? Do they have common mission and purpose? And that's, I find, where just business and life gets so much easier, because you're then, are able to be in flow and everything just works and it's
Right.
easy. It's not like you're climbing, or going against the current, right?
Right.
You're more in the flow, which is beautiful. So tell me, what would you say are your tips for showing up confidently on camera?
I've got a few, and I think about this because, again, it really starts with this idea. Most of us, we know how to turn on a camera. Like, there's nobody, we know how to turn things on, we know how to film. So it's not the lack of technical knowledge. Sometimes it's just, again, realizing this is a courage issue to, you know what, I'm going to do this. I want to build my brand, and I'm going to take steps to push myself out my comfort zone a little
Yeah.
more. When it comes to the video tips that I share with, learning how to talk while terrified with your camera,
Yes.
I always encourage start small. Introduce yourself.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be perfect. There are tips where, pay attention to your background and the lighting, but more important, speak from the heart. When people are learning to show up confidently doing videos like this, it's not about big scripted scripts to go on. It's really about talking direct to people. If I'm sharing something and I want to share how, I just got these glasses. Sometimes it's show and tell, and it's being able to explain and getting over the nerves that people are judging you, because more often than not, people are going to cheer you on. And I always encourage you to explain and tell folks, I'm a little bit nervous. This is way out of my comfort zone, but I'm doing it anyway. And watch how people surround you and say, fantastic, I wish I could do it. You're
Yeah.
doing great.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
just taking that first
Yeah.
step.
Yeah. And it's always, and you're so right. It's always the hardest. And I find there's always, that breakthrough just before, or wait, how does it go? There is breakthrough right after we, notice that fear, right? That might be
Doing
stopping
it
us, and it's
anyway.
that ego, right? But when we really are, and to your point, showing up with courage and just sharing authentically, I think beautiful things happen. And when we are, being real, right? And not being too scripted. Like, we didn't
Absolutely.
script this. We're just said,
No.
let's just share some ideas today. And I think this is where that connection can flourish, because I think those days, yeah, where everything was perfect and everything was scripted, it's no longer serving
No.
anyone, right?
100%. That's it. It's letting go of the formality that things need
Yes.
to be perfect, or comparing yourself to a news anchor or something like that. It's like, no, it's your authentic voice, and people are interested in seeing you. I think for just even yourself, your fans and your followers, if you never shared videos talking, it was only text posts for the last several years, Isabella, how would people know how would they really know to choose you over the next person, or see your personality, or like, I can work with this woman. I like her spirit. I like her style. I like her gentleness. So Yeah, that's
Yeah,
where it really makes that difference, how you're going to stand out for the person doing the exact same thing beside you.
exactly. And I find, when we show up imperfectly, we give other people permission to do the
Permission.
same, right?
Absolutely. I've done things where, yeah, things fall apart and, I'm still rolling with it. We're keeping it real. And exactly, it gives people the permission to know, all right, if it's not perfect, that's okay. I did it. And there's some confidence, as you said, that comes from just doing the thing scared.
Yeah. And it's funny. Like I was looking, I think, at my first video when I did it. I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea what I was doing, but I did it because it's that connection with
Mm,
the right audience mattered to me more than me
the
showing up
perfect.
perfectly.
Sure.
And to your point, when you say, hey, you know what? I'm also a little bit scared. Everyone
Right.
else just
Everybody.
suddenly embraces that too. And it's beautiful.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I remember I was doing it was a master class with Tony Robbins, and he was even saying that even nowadays when he goes on stage, he's a little bit nervous because it shows that he cares,
Sure.
right?
And
So,
think how many things he has done. You would not even know that. The fact that he would
yes,
share it, he might not even want to share that, knowing
exactly.
that people are going to think less of him. But actually, his vulnerability is something that, draws you to him.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Exactly. And so for example, when you're doing a shoot with someone,
Right.
I know you also have some tips around wardrobe or what to wear. So do you want to share with us?
Absolutely. And actually, I created a free guide, but I'm going to share because I find that wardrobe stresses people out
Mhm.
almost as much as the shoot itself. What am I going to wear?
Yes.
And I would say, first tip before anything, it's really about fit. You could have the coolest outfit in the world, but if it does
Mhm.
not fit you properly, it's going to show. You're pulling at it. If buttons are popping, you are not comfortable. So fit is definitely something that is important. One of my favorite outfits, and I have a few. I mean, there's so many things, but neutrals for photographers are often our friends. That doesn't mean that there isn't time for a one fabulous, loud, busy print that makes a statement. Sometimes there is, but often not for us to shine. It really is about outfits that don't steal the attention. So
Mhm.
neutrals, solid colors,
Mhm.
often are going to work well. You're going to think about this outfit and the other outfits that you're picking so that they kind of coordinate it. I'm a big fan. Here's another more. I'm just going to fire off a few. I'm a fan of jackets and jeans. It's kind of the look of the modern entrepreneur executive where it's almost like party on the top or business on the top, but it's just a little more
Yes.
relaxed. There are times for the full suit, but more often than not, a lot of my clients will look at a look where it's kind of a jacket up top, but we're going to keep it, a little bit more
Casual.
modern and fresh.
Mm.
Jeans at the bottom.
Mhm.
Um, and here's something that I often share if you are really trying to look next level, Isabella, and take it up to the like boss vibes, monochromatic looks can really do
Mm.
that. Whether it's all white, which is the echelon. If you see someone in all white or all
Yes.
cream, mwah, chef's kiss. But at
Okay.
the same time, when you can lean into a look that's fairly monochromatic, it
Mhm.
really has an elevated feel. So those are just a handful of looks. The classic white shirt. I know some people say, well, I don't really wear a shirt, but
Yes.
when you see someone in a crisp white shirt or even a blouse, it's just a classic that I guarantee always looks great on
Mm.
camera. So
Mhm.
there's so many more
Yes.
possibilities, and I
Especially
urge
with red
people.
lipstick, right? Or
Ooh, it's
bright.
just making a
Yes.
statement. So there are a lot of
Beautiful.
looks, but we do, and that's the thing. In our client sessions, we'll spend time. I
Mhm.
share inspiration. My clients will show me what they have, and then we kind of negotiate. Sometimes it's gently. I don't know if this is going to be the best thing because, our backgrounds are often fairly neutral, and you want to make sure that, or if you're in an environment that's not neutral, you want to make sure that you are not clashing with the background. The
Mhm.
focus is about you.
Beautiful. So whoever is just, I know a few people just join us. So whoever is listening, we're talking about how to show up confidently on camera, and Margot was sharing some amazing tips, including wardrobe and how to make sure you look your best. And so tell the audience, Margot, where do they get the guide, your free guide?
Ooh, if you click on my link, it's a link in bio. I have a free download that'll give you fabulous ideas for these are some looks to consider if you've got a headshot session coming up or a brand session. And it's really a starting place for those who's like, I have no idea what to wear, because probably you do have some of these things and it's putting it together. So
Right.
by all means, if you click on the link in bio, you can get your hands on that.
Awesome. So everyone go to Margot's bio and get those guides, because I'm sure they will help you.
Right.
I remember when I showed up to my first session and I brought few outfits,
Right.
and I love patterns. So lots of them had patterns and colors, and the photographer said, no, we'll go with the neutral. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, we'll do a couple with, because
times
there are
patterns
times.
can. But, and I mean, again, that's important too, because you don't want to entirely take away from someone's personality.
Yes.
So they're away. But you're right. Most photographers are going to encourage you to at least think for the bulk with solids.
Yes. It's a great tip. And then you can bring that, I find your energy with other things. You
Absolutely.
can bring a scarf in, or a nice lipstick, right? Or a
Absolutely.
purse. So
Absolutely.
yeah, some accessory. Thank you. Thank you for that. So Marga, I know you are quite a big traveler.
Mm.
So if you can share one of your favorite spots that you visited and why?
Oh, you're right. My motto is there's just not enough time.
No.
I'm on 31 countries and counting, and I'm trying to hit
Wow.
trying. But I don't know. I think Thailand is particularly special because in my 20s, I was there for a month, my first big trip solo.
Wow.
And a few years ago, actually, just as soon as the pandemic was over, I went back literally early. There was hardly anybody in the country because they were just opening up. And it was just such a lovely experience to go back. And again, it's like, it's culture, it's food, it's, it's just that reminder that we all work, we work hard, but these vacations and being out of our regular routine are sort of the benefit of us working hard, and that it's important. So, saving for that trip, being intentional about carving out the time, because I went for a month
Yeah,
both times.
that's a long
And
time.
it seems impossible, but it's about having that mindset that I want to do this. I've worked hard. I'm going to plan it and make it happen. And so if anybody's ever been to Southeast Asia, it's just next
Yeah,
level.
I haven't
It's a
been
long
yet.
flight.
Yeah,
It's a long flight, but
yeah.
absolutely worth it.
Wow, amazing. Thank you. I haven't been yet. I know Dave, my husband, has been there. He got his actually rescue scuba
Oh
diver
my goodness.
certification
Beautiful.
there. So he spent some time and he loved it as well. So
Absolutely.
maybe one day.
Yeah,
With three
absolutely.
kids, it's always a trek,
Little bit.
right?
It's a long flight, and if you do a layover, it's that much longer,
Yes,
but it's worth it once you
it's
get
so
there.
worth it. Okay, it's definitely on our list, definitely. So thank you for sharing that. And Margot, because I know you love marrying the fun with your work. So as a busy entrepreneur, what would you say are some of your go-to practices or strategies
Mhm.
to bring more of that harmony into your life and your business?
Hmm. Well, from a faith point of view, my faith definitely keeps me kind of grounded. I'm
Mhm,
Christian.
mhm.
And so for me, my days, it's taking time to make sure, actually, to start my days, I pray. Um,
Yeah.
I volunteer at my church. These are things that are important. I sing on, and these are things that bring me joy, and that no matter what's going on, I make sure that these are a part of my week,
Mhm,
and that I'm not so consumed
mhm.
with the work that I'm doing that I don't have that balance, because it brings me joy. And so, um, yeah, that's, I think, the big thing, making sure I take time to rest and do things like I love, as I said, I love to sing. I sing on the worship team, and that is my joy.
Wow. So you okay, you make sure that you get grounded with, yeah, your
Absolutely.
faith and singing.
Non-negotiable.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah, you always hear me talk about non-negotiables, like my morning routine and
For
be
sure.
doing things that bring us joy. I think people get so wrapped up in the daily that they don't
Absolutely.
prioritize. So how do you make sure that you actually fit that into your schedule?
Well, like I said, my days kind of start, sort of very quietly. I definitely pray and read sort of devotionals. And then, like I said, on the weekends, and thankfully with brand photography, you're mostly focused on Monday through Friday. And so, my weekends are your weekends, your evenings are free. And so, you find ways to work the things that are the most important. We all do into our schedule, or at least we should.
Yeah.
Putting aside that time to make sure these things happen and that work isn't everything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's all about that balance.
Yeah.
So going and talking now back to work, what would you say is one of your strategies or things you do to grow your business, or
Right.
kind of get better results with doing less?
I
So what is
understand.
that? Yeah.
I would say, in all truth, the last year I have been focused a lot about content. I was in a mastermind about 2 years ago where it really opened the idea of being strategic,
Yeah.
having content pillars. That's something I'd never heard of before that. Like, these are the things that I'm going to talk about and then planning them. So, for
Yeah.
example, I got a content calendar for the last 2 years and it's changed the game where I'm thinking ahead of time about what I'm going to post. Some of my pillars, I love talking about entrepreneurs over 50. I love talking about camera shy people because that is one of my areas. And I like to share silly reels. You and I have shared silly reels.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so
Love them.
mixing humor with tips. And so when you plan things on a content calendar,
Yeah.
you're not scrambling all the time to come up with something on the fly. So it's a little bit more efficient. So if anybody's never, considered using a content calendar and plotting out, because that's going to save you time and it's going to make your content that much more
Yeah.
impactful.
And thank you for saying that, because yeah, I do know a lot of people that kind of wake up and
What
I
am I going
think,
to
oh my
post?
goodness, yeah, what I gotta post, right? Versus looking, hey, what's going on in your business?
Right.
What are you trying to promote as
Yes.
well, right? And create, and how does that fit into your brand
Right.
pillars, and also content and strategy and plans and growth target, like all of that. It has
Right.
to be strategic to really see those results. So thank you for bringing that up, because I think it's
Absolutely.
still, some people are good at it and some still need a little bit of work, especially if
Yeah,
someone doesn't come from that business world
for
or marketing
sure.
world, right?
And content's really going to help you. Like, your content is how people are going to connect with you. And so it's a part of the strategy you don't want to overlook, because when you're planning, you're strategically thinking about what you're going to share, what pain points others might be struggling with. And so it's not, sometimes, oh, Instagram fluff. No, you can think that posting is, oh, not worth my time, but it's really a strategic way to outreach and have people connect with you. So
Yeah.
your content is important and
Yeah.
deserves a little bit of planning.
Exactly. And thank you, because, you know, it's easy to have that love-hate relationship, right, with
We
social
all
media.
do.
But when we can be strategic behind the content, so delivering both, I think elevating that authority
Right.
and also your expertise, credibility, building the trust, the know, like, and trust factor, I think that's where you are going to attract the right people into your world.
Yeah.
Like, I know it was only, what was it, last week? Yeah, I think a couple new clients came from content that I shared, right?
Absolutely.
So really, like, if you are being strategic and takes a little bit of time and
Absolutely.
strategy, right?
But it
But
pays off, right? As you
exactly,
just said.
exactly. And I always say, and it goes back to what you were saying about the confidence, when you really are dropping the idea behind, oh, what will people
Not
think.
about you.
It's no.
Yeah,
How can I serve and how can I
absolutely.
add value? It actually removes that pressure.
Absolutely. Not about me. Not really. You know, what I'm sharing is going to help somebody. And if you can turn it that much more to think, I'm going to help someone steer the right way, because they could be swayed by someone who's going to steer them the wrong way. So you are serving, and it's a different way to look at it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And I think it becomes more fun,
Absolutely.
right?
Take the
When we
pressure
connect,
off, right?
right? Yeah.
Take the
Who
pressure off
needs
it.
that extra pressure? Nobody. Exactly. See, everyone, the power of content and the power of video. And I always talk about like repurposing content because when someone, let's say, does a post, I'm like, you can turn that into a blog, you can turn it into an
Absolutely.
article.
You
Yeah,
can
or
repost the same post. You can. You know, in a bit of time, there's not as many rules as people think about content where, oh, I shared it once. No, you can absolutely repost. You can redo it. You can chop it up. Absolutely. I do that with
yeah.
almost every single thing.
Yeah. And especially with, what the latest statistics I think I've seen on Instagram, because the algorithm changed so much. It's
Right.
only like percentage of people actually are
Minute.
seeing your
Minute.
posts. So keep sharing, people,
Absolutely.
whoever is from my marketing days. I know, like, and this was, back to the traditional
Yeah.
media, TV and
Yeah.
magazines. I know when we were working on Dove, it really, for the message to resonate, it took sometimes 7 to 8 times
Absolutely.
for someone to see the commercial or the piece of content to resonate. And nowadays, I think it's more like 13 to 17 times because of all
Saturate.
the
Yeah.
digital noise and saturation. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So, Margot, any final tips and how do people get in touch with you?
Well, thank you again, Isabella. Absolutely, Margot at margotdaily.com. That actually, Margot at Margot Daily Photography is my Instagram. There are links to this, and I would share that I also have a freebie for anybody who's thinking about starting to talk to cam, a little bit nervous. I have a freebie called "Are You Terrified of Talking on Social?" and it'll help you overcome that fear, kind of like what we talked about. And I share with my email subscribers loads of tips on how to do video, where to look, how to talk. You don't need a lot. You need a phone. You don't need fancy lights. And I'm planning to do a in-person live workshop later this winter on talking to your people, because I think it's so effective. And the last thing I will share, and you touched on it, you worked in traditional media, Isabella, and back in the day, if someone wanted to talk online to the people and take out a commercial or add thousands of millions of
Oh
dollars,
my gosh.
and you'd probably have to go local cable access at 3 in the morning to be able to afford it. And now all of us,
Yeah,
look, we have our phones 24 hours a day, 365 to turn it on, say good morning and welcome. It's a gift. So
it
all
is
of
a
us
gift.
need to be using our phones to chat to our folks, get over the fear, push yourself. So hopefully folks watching this, some will be inspired to do it and give it a try.
I really hope so. I really hope so. Yeah, we want to see everyone who is willing to tag Margot, tag me,
Tell
and
us.
we'll make sure, right? Will we share your videos too? Because I think it takes that, as you were saying before, that one step,
Little
and we
baby
have to
steps.
practice, right, to get better and better, and then it just becomes more natural and your second nature.
You bet.
Beautiful. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Isabel. I enjoyed our
Okay.
conversation. Thanks so
Me
much.
too. Thank you for sharing all your beautiful insights and your wisdom. I'm sure audience really enjoyed hearing from you and learning all those amazing tips how to show up confidently on camera. Have a
Wonderful.
beautiful
Have a wonderful
Wednesday.
day, Isabella. Take it
You
easy.
too. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye
Bye
everyone.
bye.
Bye.